Hello and welcome to 3 Minute Gaming. I'm Nathan, and today with this game is worth your time and bandwidth. Today's game is Darktide. In the grim dark future, there is only the tide, not of vermin, but of the dark. Okay, this intro sucks. Let's just get on with the review. Darktide is currently available on PC with Xbox Series consoles coming soon, and it is available on PC via Game Pass. Should you wish to buy it, it is $40, and I really can't put a playtime to this game as you're going to be playing it for many hours if you enjoy it. So what exactly is Darktide? Well, it's a 4-player Left 4 Dead-esque game set in the Warhammer 40k universe by the guys that made the probably best Left 4 Dead style game ever, Vermintide 2. You'll start Darktide by picking one of the 4 classes and creating a custom character, be it the sharpshooting veteran, melee-focused zealot, giant Ogren, or head-popping psyker. Released from prison to serve the Imperium of Man, you have to engage in a variety of 15 to 20-minute co-op missions to raise the Imperium's trust in you, get better gear, and purge a whole lot of heretics. The mission loop is almost identical to Deep Rock Galactic if you're familiar. The map contains a handful of randomized missions of varying difficulty, which cycle through new ones every hour. These missions range from assassinations, ammo recovery, scanning for nurgle, fungus, and much more. Once in a mission, you and your 3 compatriots will have to work together against the hordes of chaos to complete your goal, and this is where some differences from Vermintide 2 arise. While most Left 4 Dead clones lean heavily into the special units that can incapacitate individual people, Darktide has a wider range of enemy elites, with the game spawning things like heavily armored gunners or dual-wielding berserkers, as well as the usual pin one guy down types of thing. They are designed more to split you up rather than incapacitate one of you, and the reason for that we will get to in a minute. And of course, there's the usual horde of grunts you'll mow down, though this time a lot of them have armor that requires more precision melee strikes. Depending on your class, you'll be killing in both ranged and melee, with Vermintide's 2 melee system being transplanted here almost exactly. You'll have heavy and light attacks, blocking strikes, combos, and much more to learn. Range combat's fairly bog standard, though all the weapons do feel fairly different from each other, and the game gives much more ammo than Vermintide 2 to facilitate that kind of gameplay. Of course, enemies have guns now too, which leads to another big change. All characters now have a shield known as toughness, and these characters' requirements to regenerate that shield change depending on which character you are playing. However, everyone's shield regens faster when near other teammates, which encourages team play. After each mission, you'll gain trust and money, with trust eventually allowing your character to unlock powerful passives, and money lets you buy new guns and melee weapons through an hourly cycling shop. Then you're off to the next mission because there's always a heretic to purge. And that's basically it. Darktide is a mission-based co-op melee shooter with an emphasis on its combat, team comp, and classes. So what do I like about Darktide? Well, the combat in this game feels oh so good, with melee being an evolution from Vermintide in all the best ways, with there being more armored enemies requiring a deeper combat strategy, as well as the viscera, gore, and sound effects making every strike just feeling so satisfying. Additionally, the classes all feel completely unique and play quite differently, and the fact you have to choose a focus between range and melee really makes trying out each class a treat. And lastly, I think this game looked pretty good, particularly the massive enemy variety with great production values visually, as well as a ton of entertaining chatter across your team that varies depending on your team comp. When it comes to the bad, this game has some technical weirdness. I could never get the game to run at a stable 60 despite having a 3080 Ti, not even to mention the freezing, crashing, and other issues. Additionally, even on release, this game feels like it has a lack of content. You only have 4 classes with no subclasses, and not nearly enough mission variety as I would have hoped for a fully released game. And lastly, this game is really stingy on how much gear it gives you, and really obtuse in what that gear does. Not to mention, if you buy a weapon, you can't sell it back if you don't like it, which makes the gear grind feel worse than Vermintide 2, which is saying something. I thought they would have fixed this. As you know, right, games here on a 3-point scale, must play, maybe consider, don't bother. In its current state, I'd say Darktide is a maybe consider, and it honestly pains me to not give it a must play because I have been waiting for this game for so long, and when it works, it is absolutely exceptional, but it is marred by its technical issues, repetitive content, and some really strange design choices that honestly felt like a step back from Vermintide 2. The foundation here is exceptional, just know the game probably could have used some more time in the oven, and will probably be a lot better in like 6 months. And that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. What are your thoughts on Darktide? Do you think it'll get better? Please let me know in the comments, but regardless, go out there and purge the heretic.